It's the case that just leaves you with a lot of questions and not a lot of answers and a lot of confusion. Mica Miller, her death ruled officially as a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, concluding that there was no foul play. 30-year-old's death has been drawing national attention due to her ties to local pastor John Paul Miller and allegations of domestic abuse. And I'll just say right off the bat, in no way am I saying that John Paul Miller did anything to Mica Miller. I'm just basing any opinions that we have or thoughts that we have on court documents and records that are out there for the public to see, and accusations that are made by Mica Miller's family and friends, and YouTube videos and things like that that are literally of one of the two of them, and them displaying their actions to the world, which in a lot of cases, John Paul Miller looked very narcissistic and a little bit out there, or really, really out there. The medical examiner's report detailed that Mica Miller used a 9mm handgun, which she purchased from a Myrtle Beach pawn shop on April 27th, 2024, to take her own life at Lumber River State Park in Lumberton, North Carolina. The report stated there was no concern for foul play and no signs of physical struggle at the scene where bullet casings were recovered. Casings with an S.
Yeah, multiple, because when somebody shoots themselves, if you don't get it right the first time, try again.
Of course, that's not a sign that anything might be wrong or there might be something else here. Again, I don't know. It looks, on the surface, honestly, it looks like she killed herself because she went and bought the gun. That's on security cameras. There's a 911 call. And I honestly, if that's really what happened, I wouldn't be surprised. But I would also understand somewhat how she was driven to it as well, and really had some sort of a mental breakdown after what we're seeing here as examples of the environment that she lived in. And if we have some mental illness going on here too, yeah, that can certainly contribute to it. But what we're seeing here, is just bizarre and weird. Mica Miller's body was discovered submerged in the river by a kayaker approximately 100 feet from the location of the bullet casings with an S. A black bag containing Miller's ID and money was found by another person on the riverbank and handed over to police. And this is it's like a boggy swamp. I don't know any way to describe it. I've seen video of it. There was questions about how she drifted so far away, but I don't really look at that as being questionable because you have a body in a swampy area with wildlife. Things are going to drag bodies around pretty quickly after they're dead. So the location of the casings versus the body doesn't really strike me as that odd because it literally is water, which you can drift around in pretty easily. Mica Miller was married to John Paul Miller, pastor of Solid Rock Church in Market Common, Myrtle Beach. At the time of her death, the couple was separated and entangled in legal disputes. The case has been scrutinized by family, friends, and the public, with Miller's death prompting the hashtag Justice for Mica movement aimed at raising awareness about domestic violence. And you know what? I'm going to play this here because it's in her own words talking about domestic abuse. Take a listen.
I've had a lot of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse. And I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me. Male or female, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Abuse is abuse. And you are the bride of Christ. And my Bible says that he took all the abuse you could think of for you so that you didn't have to live that life of slavery and bondage and pain. So you don't have to stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs or alcohol abuse or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are. God hates divorce, but why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people.
1 full month.
But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that?
I was not trying to have another TikTok video play at the time. I was trying to see if there's anything new over here on this other channel that he claims is Mica Miller, or not Mike, but John Paul Miller claims is a true crime blogger.
Gotcha.
And just seeing if there's anything new over there. He's telling a story that is this a new one? 22 hours ago. Oh, we might have a new one to listen to. We'll go to that in just a second. He's claiming that this is someone else's true crime blog, and this true crime blogger gave him the platform to share his story. However, coincidentally, there's not many other posts about anything other than this case, and there's no history to it either, other than this case, other than the occasional, let's throw something else in there about true crime to kind of make it look like this is a legitimate true crime blog. And the image on the TikTok, it could be a stock photo, if you ask me, of some random woman. It's basically been a platform, whether it's him or whoever, I don't know, but it's clearly him on these videos. It's a platform for him to throw out his narrative of what and he's trying to play the angle of, this is mental health awareness. We need to be aware that people could go down these roads, which if that's completely accurate and true, is a good thing. There should be more awareness about mental health disorders and the potential of what people are capable of doing. I agree with that. But this just seems to be more of a look at me, look at me, look at me, look how good I am type platform than it does that sort of a thing. It seems to be eating up the attention of this in a really weird way. If your wife killed herself and you're hanging out online and I don't know, it's bizarre. At their church, there's a YouTube footage out there now too, where it's him and his friend out there sitting cross-legged and in a meditation type pose as protesters are standing outside of the church. Now, you could just stay inside and let them do their thing, but they go out and they hold their hands up like they're doing something. It's weird. It's truly, in my opinion, extremely narcissistic. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, and that's how it's playing to most people that are watching it. But here we go. I've not listened to this at all. This is a brand new one that was just posted from John Paul Miller. Let's hear what he's saying.
Hey, today's video is for all of the people who've been emailing me from around the world, telling me their struggles, personal stories of mental illness, as well as the stories of people whom they love who battle with mental illness. And the same.
I want to say this quick. Vocal crack. We've talked about this before, I think, on other cases, where people talk with that extra crack in their voice.
Yeah.
Take a fucking listen.
Emphasis.
It's all there. I'm just trying to be authentic and nice, and oh my goodness.
The same story is throughout every single email, and that is, when you start feeling really, really good, you want to come off your medicine because you think you don't need it. So listen, the reason you feel good is because you're on your medicine. Don't come off your medication. Over the years, my wife was prescribed lithium, Seroquel, olanzapine, and lamotrigine, something like that. But my goal, I had one goal every day of my life for 7 years, and that was to make sure that she took her medicine so that she could enjoy her life and live a very fulfilled, prosperous life like she did when she was with me. Away from me and with her family, she came off of her medicine, lost 40 pounds in a month, and did something that I regret. She did something I tried to prevent for the past 3 months. But somehow with her family, she was able to accomplish that. And so a lawyer said something months and months ago. He said, the guilty person is the person who talks the most. I said, what do you mean? He said, the guilty person in any situation, the guilty one is the one that's always out there talking the most. So just look at that person, because Robbie Stinky Harvey is raising money for the person who's responsible for my wife's death.
Hey, Micah, or hey, JP, you know who's talking the most?
You, dude.
Dude, it's you.
Oh, the irony.
Oh, the thing is, he doesn't even see it. And that's true of most narcissists. They don't even see it. They don't understand it. It just doesn't even register that they could be doing that. Again, I'm not saying he's guilty of anything at all. I'm just saying it looks weird. And again, what he just said there is a true statement. Yeah, people get off their meds because they think they're doing better, and then shit hits the fan. People will leave relationships and situations because the people who are keeping them in a healthy place can't be there anymore, so they think they can do what they can. And again, if that is the case, I feel bad for the guy. But there's a lot of allegations of abuse that have come from the family in court documents and others, and there's video footage of him acting fucking nuts as well. So it's a cornucopia of crazy is really what it is here. And someone who is clearly has even admitted to his own mental health problems shouldn't necessarily be preaching about mental health, in my opinion. But let's continue on the last 30 seconds.
He's raising money for the person who told my wife she didn't need her medicine. She didn't have to take it anymore. Her doctor was wrong. Her husband's abusive for asking her to take her medicine every single night. And what happened was she lost 40 pounds in a month. She purchased something that I tried to stop for 3 months, and she did something that I tried to stop for years. And so if you're unmedicinated, like the ones I listed earlier, please, for the sake of your family and friends and loved ones, stay on your medicine unless your doctor tells you otherwise. Not your friends, not your family, your doctor, the one who prescribed the medicine. Please, and God bless.
So again, on the surface here, if everything is legit, I understand what he's saying is true about medicine. But there's a lot of really, the allegations go beyond that. He just tried to make her take her medicine.
Something just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing nefarious going on here, but I heard the things that she said online, her diary.
Yeah. Her diary,
what family members are saying, when you're going through. Go ahead.
No, we got a slight delay here. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. I think her family has been aware of things, and you need to listen to that because she was talking to people about what she was experiencing. Granted, there was some mental illness there. Can you believe all of it? I don't know.
Well, I want to know.
I would take it with a grain of salt that something was going on.
I want to know factually if there was mental illness here, because we're just getting it from him. So let's get a little more proof here in the pudding to say, yes, this is truly what was going on. Again, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be very objective about this because so many are just going down the road of, he did something to her or he killed her or whatever. And I'm not saying that at all. I think there's a lot of gray area in this entire story. And I think there's a gray area of possibly mental illness and someone being driven to suicide. I think there's a possibility where, we're maybe talking about exactly what he said we're talking about. And maybe that is what happened. And we're all very predispositioned to look at there's something nefarious going on here. But he is not doing himself any favors with the actions that he's been taking and continues to take. He just keeps looking more and more suspicious. And I doubt he's getting any advice of any sort of attorney, or he's not listening to an attorney, because I'm sure an attorney would be saying, shut the fuck up.
100%.
And I'm sure investigators that are looking into this are going, keep going. You just keep posting away here, my friend. Because every fucking thing you say, we're watching and can be used against you at some point in time. An attorney would just say, shut the fuck up, go grieve the death of your wife. Let people say what they're going to say and let it simmer down eventually. But he just keeps stirring the pot of this whole damn thing. If you want it to calm down, stop fucking feeding the beast. Unless you really like that, which is a weird thing to like. The Robeson County Sheriff's Department ruled Mica's death a suicide. According to Facebook posts on May 7th, 2024, the decision was based on surveillance footage, interviews, and physical evidence and the medical examiner's findings. The post also mentioned that the Robeson County E911 Communications Center received a 911 call from Miller on the day of her death. During the call, Miller asked the dispatcher if her phone could be located, stating she intended to kill herself and wanted her family to be able to locate the body.
Robeson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. Don't know where you're at.
In National Park.
What's the phone number you're calling me from?
843-655-5242.
Where's the park located at?
In Fair Bluff.
Let's see.
I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on. I just did my my location.
Okay, I'm showing, hold on one second. I don't think you are in Robeson County. The Lumber River State Park?
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Tell me what's, happened.
I'm about to kill myself, and I just want my family to know where to find me.
Okay, ma'am. Just listen to what I'm saying, okay? Let me make sure I got the exact location where you're at, okay? Just 1 minute.
The medical examiner's report indicated that family members had tried to contact Miller without success on the day of her death. Investigators found a gun case in the passenger seat of her vehicle, along with a box of ammunition in the center console. Receipts for the handgun and convenience store purchase, both dated April 27th of 2024, were also discovered in the vehicle. Mica Miller had publicly alluded to mental health struggles and abuse in her marriage on her Facebook page and in documents. Despite these allegations, John Paul Miller has denied any abuse towards his wife. The ongoing legal battle between Miller's family and her estranged husband over her belongings adds another layer of complexity to the case. The circumstances surrounding Mica Miller's death have sparked, obviously, a broader conversation about mental health and domestic violence, with many advocating for better support systems for individuals in similar situations. I want to throw this out there because it's another case that we're watching. There's a new documentary out about it called Perfect Wife. It's about Sherry Papini. And in that story, Sherry accuses her husband of abuse and a lot of things. And at the end of the day, it was proven there was no abuse. She was telling people that. Just throwing it out. Like, there was a situation where she had a black eye, and it was corroborated by other friends. They were playing a Wii, like the Nintendo Wii, and an elbow went back and got her in the eye. Friends, female friends, male friends, they all said, yes, that's what happens. It looks horrible. They were joking about it the day that it happened. But then there was friends of hers that said that she went to them and said, oh, yeah, he's hitting me.
Great.
Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happening here in this situation. But I am saying people who are mentally ill can make shit up or can make situations and exaggerate situations as well. Again, not saying that's what's happening here, but I don't think we can all just put our blinders on and just say, this is exactly what happened. Especially if there is truly mental illness going on here. This is not cut and dry. This is not a cut and dry case by any stretch of the imagination. It's weird is what it is. It's weird because the behavior of John Paul Miller continues to be weird, at least to most people on the outside. To him, I don't think it is. And her behavior also, it was weird towards the end. So what exactly was the reality? I don't know the answer to that. I think there should be a much deeper investigation into that. But in her own words that she has spoken, she does talk about abuse. There are accounts from other people that she experienced abuse. There's fucking video of what one could consider abusive behavior from him towards her that does exist as well. the whole thing is weird. Does it make John Paul Miller a murderer? No. Does it just complicate the whole thing because everybody's looking for an answer and some sort of reason why this happened? Yeah. And that's why we're all talking about it right now.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be one of these cases where I'm not sure we're going to get to the bottom of what really happened. We have the autopsy report, the alleged cause of death. It just, something feels unsettled for me.
It does. That's why we're talking it, because it feels unsettled and weird. And I don't know if it feels unsettled and weird because of the behavior of John Paul Miller after the fact or what it is. That to me is the unsettling part, is it's just weird behavior. But it could just be that. It could be weird behavior of someone who has a narcissistic tendencies in his personality. And that's always a bit unsettling and weird when that happens because they're completely oblivious to it. And I mean, that's, in my opinion, what I'm seeing out of him is very narcissistic type personality and tendencies. Could be completely off and wrong, but, that's my observation.
Well, if he would just be quiet, none of us would be talking about this case.
You're 100% right. But then he doesn't get the attention, which some people just so desperately seek. And I would say he's one of those people. It's
I agree.
A lot of questions here and not many answers yet.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.